Greetings. I want to welcome you to this chat, if you call it dialogue, conversation. Now, this is my first one I've done in this manner. I've done storytelling for YouTube, mainly because I was doing it for my third grade class over distance learning. And so I've got a little bit more comfortable talking to a screen. It still is very odd. But since I can talk with people from all around the world, it's not a bad thing. So I'm using it. So this first conversation I have, this may be a weird subject, but I want to talk about scams, mystical mumbo jumbo, and curses. And the reason I'm doing so is because just the other day I read in Yahoo News about some couple being scammed out of $50,000, and they weren't the first one. There was another couple that was scammed out of $100,000, and it was scammed through a psychic. And it's really sad to see people being taken advantage of, but also throwing themselves out there to be taken advantage of. I don't see victims, and they set this up for themselves because they wanted some free money, basically. So how it worked was this woman set up a shop, bought a storefront, put a wig on, advertised that she could make your fortune, change your bad luck into good luck. And so these people came with and they went to their place, and she, with all her mystical mumbo jumbo, convinced them that if they were to get money and jewelry and bring it back, she would work with that energy and manifest into great abundance. So they brought back $50,000 in jewelry, and she said, in 2 days' time, I'll come on back, and you will have great abundance. Of course, when they came back 2 days later, she was gone. They have no idea where she is, of course. And this was the second time. The other time was $100,000, the same thing. And it's just people. If you're looking for free money, it's not going to happen. All this mystical stuff. I was just looking online at mystical readings, and you advertisement of somebody over a crystal ball and doing all these things, and says manifest your riches and all that. And I don't look at what the tarot is for. It's not for this making yourself rich, and this kind of really black magic type of mentality. Also, I've had many people come to me over the years, especially when I was down at the Bodhi Tree in Hollywood years ago, saying that they were cursed, that they went to this fortune teller, and they say a gypsy fortune teller. I don't know if they were gypsy or not, but that's what they said, a gypsy fortune teller, and the gypsy fortune teller said, oh, you have a curse around you. They do? I have a curse? Yes, you have a curse. And if you bring over 20 pairs of brand new shoes, I can lift that curse. Or if you pay me so much money or buy me these dresses, I can get rid of this curse. And people do this. Or they came to me and said, is this true? Do I really have a curse on me? And I said, no, you don't have a curse. That's a scam. That is a scam. No tarot reader, no good one, no good psychic is going to tell you these things, that if you pay me this amount of money, I will release some curse or bad karma, whatever you want to call it, off of you. It's not true. Okay. Are curses true? Well, Um, what is a curse? Some people feel cursed because they may look a certain way. Some people may feel cursed because they look beautiful. Some people may feel cursed because they look ugly. Or some people feel cursed because they were born in this type of situation, in this type of body. There's a lot of ways we feel cursed. And from my perspective, it's kind of the karma that we're born into, and we have to make use of it. It's limitations, and we all have limitations. On this planet, it's a planet of limitations, and you have to circle that square, feel expansive within the confines of a square. And so I was cursed once by my first teacher, who had cities, who had powers and things that he could do this with his fingers and you'd feel fire, or he could touch you and you'd feel bliss, Shakti pots, and I could not fulfill what he wanted, which is total surrender at his feet, my will, and I would not do that. I could not do that, although I was very young on the path. I was just starting out, and he was a pretty amazing person in terms of giving me lots of psychic thrills and paranormal type of activities. But when I said I was going to leave, he cursed me. And he said, "You shall never find, I curse you, and you will never find a community in which you belong." Well, I have never found a community in which I belong. Was that a curse or a blessing? I have turned that curse to a blessing, in that I have met incredible amount of people, wonderful people. I live, generally I have a family, I have children, and so I don't feel like I'm not alone. But I haven't found a community, even as a Waldorf teacher, which communities, or we create communities in Waldorf. I have never found a place where I've put my roots down. I usually travel 4 years, 5 years, from place to place, school to school, and that's been a wonderful experience. I've also been studied with Christians and Hindus and Buddhists and Wiccans, occultists, and I have taken from there. I've taken the gifts that these communities of thought have given me, and I have synthesized it into my own way of living my life. And working with the Tarot is another example. I'm a Tarot reader, but I'm more than a Tarot reader. I use what I synthesize in my readings and in my life. And so I'm grateful for those communities. I can interface with them, but I don't feel like I'm defined by them, by any community, by any system of thought. So that curse has become a blessing. There are times I would love to find a place and say, "This is my home. I found my place." But I believe there's no home on this earth. There's the Om in the home, and that's my home. That's where I've had my roots, is in the divine, in the spirit. And here I'm a traveler. I'm like the fool in the tarot, just moving through all these different cards, these different archetypes and experiences. So that curse has become a blessing. I have met when I was in the Peace Corps in Africa, I met a woman who said she was cursed and that there was this haunting around her, and she was actually telling me about this. We were at a cafe, an off-licensed restaurant in Cameroon, and she's telling me this, and all of a sudden, I kid you not, time just freezes. Everyone is around me are frozen. And she goes, "Do you feel it? It's here." And my hair was standing on end. I said, yeah, and I don't like it. And I looked around, everyone's frozen, and then it was gone. And she had, um, later on during her stay, she had a chief, village chief, fall in love with her, wanted her as one of his wives. A jealous wife created a voodoo doll to um, get at her, which she found and had a shaman destroy it. And she was attacked by a pack of dogs that she had to fend off with her helmet, and she left the Peace Corps with ulcers, and she had a very difficult life. Was there a curse, a haunting type of thing? There was something around her. I experienced it. I felt it. It was not good. I hope she has since then developed a spiritual practice where she could mitigate or eliminate that energy. In Hindu mythologies, the stories, curses are very real around many places in the world. What is a curse but a thought form? And black practitioners, black magic practitioners, and white practitioners will use thought forms. Occult, will use these thought forms, and to send them out to achieve something. A white magician will use it to achieve something that is good for the whole. A black magician will use it for only selfish gains, or getting back at somebody, and that. So there are those, when we have these thoughts that are hateful and full of spite, and we throw that at somebody, it will stick to that person. It will also rebound and come back to you eventually. But that person, hopefully, will have a spiritual practice where they can go into the spirit, into their self, where it's cleansed and not be controlled or affected by that curse. And of course, there's the mummy's curse and those other curses like that. And those are thought forms that stick on us. I was just watching Skinwalkers, a video about Skinwalkers Ranch in Utah, and how they have this energy they call a hitchhiker energy, where there's all these paranormal activities at the ranch, and these researchers go there and have those experiences, but they're also finding that when they leave the ranch, this hitchhiking energy comes with them, and they'll start having these weird experiences at home. So these type of things are real, but we can mitigate those things by our own spiritual practice. And those curses that people say, if you don't do this, then you will be forever caught in this curse. Those are bogus. So yeah, watch out for these scams. And it's also another scam that a lot of psychics do, and they don't maybe do it consciously, but they do it in a way to kind of psychically hook you, a barb, to make you feel really good about yourself. It's kind of an ego boost, and we all need ego boosts, but sometimes they are they're not true, like past life things. So Rudolf Steiner, one of the founders of Waldorf education and anthroposophy, talked about past lives, and how if you find yourself thinking you're Napoleon or Jesus Christ or these incredible historical figures, most likely you are getting sucked into a delusion, a psychic delusion, that Lucifer, this as he calls Lucifer, this is kind of egotistical, abstract, extremely spiritualized energy that doesn't have any grounding, will kind of hook people in with this spiritual pride, and it happens a lot. So if some psychic is telling you how incredible you were and all that, fine. I mean, just don't hook into it. Oh yeah, this is who I am. It's just, okay, just perhaps that I am, perhaps I was that. It doesn't matter, because what's most important is who you are in the present. Okay, and you can, in no definition, no little lifetime is even close to who you really are. You're a divine being. You are beyond all definitions. And if you buy into the glamour of something of, oh, you're a starseed, or you're an angel, or all those things, they're just definitions. They're limitations. They're not real in the ultimate sense. So that's all I have to say. I hope you've gotten something out of it, and stay tuned. I'll do some more. It's kind of fun. All right. Have a wonderful day. Happy adventures, and peace out.